One of the most generic and arbitrary pieces of fitness advice is to start walking 10,000 steps per day, but that's just unrealistic for so many people. And just to give you the example here, according to Google, it takes about an hour and 40 minutes to walk 10,000 steps, which doesn't really sound like a whole lot, especially considering the fact that most people are awake for like 18 hours a day. So you could probably squeeze that in somewhere, right? Well, let me go ahead and give you an example that's totally made up, but it paints the picture of a very realistic situation about Bob the sales manager. Now, Bob the sales manager, he works 10-hour days managing his sales team, and he doesn't have a whole lot of time outside of work because, 10-hour work days, I've experienced those myself, where essentially you have a little bit of time in the morning to kind of get up, maybe have some coffee, get up and get ready, and essentially go to work. Like maybe at breakfast, maybe not, depending upon what time you wake up. But he pretty much has breakfast every day, Bob, the sales manager here. And he goes to work. He's in his desk most of the day. Obviously, he has some meetings. He does his work at the desk. He's managing all the reports, seeing where he can improve his sales team. And a lot of the time, vast majority of the time is spent sitting down. And then when he gets home, he's with his family. He has his wife, he has his kids. He wants to be with them and have dinner, and even though dinner is kind of late, and a lot of the times he gets back and dinner's pretty much already done, which is just a really rough time to be in, but that's a whole different conversation for another time. But he has dinner with his family, and then he's like, wow, I just had a really long work day. Sales team is doing good, but there's so many things we got to improve. I'm just going to sit down and watch some Netflix and just kind of chill out and go to bed, and then do it all over again tomorrow. Now, he does train. He does train in the morning. He hits the weights a couple times a week sometimes, and sometimes a little bit less. His work schedule is absolutely chaotic. And then he goes online. He's like, well, I really need to start getting in shape, figuring out, what can I do? What's a simple thing that I can do that doesn't take a whole lot of time? And he goes and sees all these people on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok saying, hey, walk 10,000 steps a day. It's the easiest thing you can do to get in shape. So he tries to start doing that. He starts tracking his steps in his phone because he has his phone on him all the day, all the time, every single day. So he's like, okay, I check the health app in here. Okay, well, wow, I'm getting like 3,000 steps a day on average. Sometimes I'll hit 4,000 on those busier days where I'm going in and out of meetings. What can I do to get 10,000 steps a day? I really have two options. So first option, wake up a little extra early, maybe get a half-hour walk in the morning. Maybe hit the treadmill on the days where I'm not working out and hitting the weights. And then the other side of things is that, okay, when I get home, I'll take a really quick walk after dinner just to, I guess I heard somewhere that it's good to walk after you eat to help digest better or something like that. So I'll do a little bit in the morning and a little bit after work. And he goes and tries to do that, and he's realizing, okay, cool. We got about an hour in there plus the time that I walk at work, and we're now getting about 7,000 steps a day. That's really good. Like that's improvement, but I really want to get that 10,000 because that's what people are saying to do. That's how you get in even better shape. And so he keeps trying this, and he's able to get to like 7, maybe 8,000 steps a day, but isn't really able to get to that 10,000 steps a day. So he's continuing to try this. He's like, well, I guess, okay, maybe I got to get up a little bit earlier and maybe add 10 minutes in the morning or 15 minutes. I'll do a 45-minute walk in the morning, and then I'll do a 40-minute walk at the end of the day. And then now he's walking for a lot of time each and every day. He's walking early. He is getting a little bit less sleep and walking early first thing in the morning. And then some days it's raining, so he's not hitting those days as well. So he's hitting the treadmill, and he's just like, I can't really stand this. This is just mind-numbingly boring. What am I doing? First off, he doesn't know my cardio hacks to make cardio a lot more interesting. But anyway, moving on. Then he's walking at night after dinner, and it's not really having a whole lot of time to de-stress from work, because he goes from working all day to just directly to dinner and then directly to walking. And then by that time, he's not really spending a whole lot of time with his family after work either, which was already little in the first place. And so he's just so focused on hitting this 10,000 step per day goal that a lot of other things just get pushed aside. And then everything just feels a little bit off because he's just struggling to hit this 10,000 step per day goal. Now, he realizes something. He's like, okay, this is just a number. This is just a number I'm trying to hit for the sake of hitting the number. And even though I'm walking more, I'm not really noticing a whole lot of a difference. I'm like everything in terms of the training is actually a little bit tougher because I'm just a little bit more tired. And a lot of the time that I spend, it doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. And he's been doing this for a couple months now, just really trying really hard, doing anything he can to hit that 10,000 step goal every day. And there was actually a couple times where he hit it, and it was very underwhelming. Hit the 10,000 steps, he's like, cool. And then, okay, I hit it. Now I have to do this all over again every single day. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. He's starting to put the pieces together, and he's realizing, okay, so what else can I do to really move the needle in the right direction? What else can I do? And it turns out he comes across this channel here and realizes that it's not really about steps. That's not really the main driver of what's going to get you results. It's more about fixing your diet, like really fine-tuning your diet. If you're already doing okay with that, really fine-tuning it. If you're not, and you're just kind of eating whatever you want, whatever you're served, whatever you decide to buy, whatever you end up making for yourself, and just kind of free winging it, like winging it every single day. Okay, well, maybe I got to refine that a little bit. And then the other thing is, well, training. Training doesn't do a whole lot for weight loss, and I can make a whole video on a very specific example of how weight loss is not dictated by training, by lifting weights, by resistance training, but it does play a part. It does play a little bit of a part. He's like, okay, well, I can focus a little bit more on getting stronger and putting muscle on, which will help me look better by the time I'm as lean as I want to be. And then he keeps going through the videos that we have here, and he's like, okay, diet is number one. Diet is the most important thing. And in terms of the steps, he's like, okay, well, maybe I don't have to walk 10,000 steps a day. Maybe I can just walk 5,000 steps a day. So I'm already getting about 3,000, maybe 4,000 steps a day while I'm at work. And then I just go for maybe a quick walk with my family, walk our dog, walk our cat. I'm joking. But like go for a little brief walk after dinner, nothing crazy, 15 minutes or so, just take a lap around the block or whatever else. And that can make a difference. That can make a difference long term without spending a lot of time. Or on the days where it's rainy, hit the treadmill for 15 minutes. There's like maybe boost the pace up a little bit, hit the incline up a little bit. And that can make a big difference with just doing a little thing and not stressing out about hitting this arbitrary number of 10,000 steps per day each and every day. Instead, hit my arbitrary number of at least 5,000 steps per day. Now, there's another thing to consider. Bob, the sales manager, is a very common case where so many people are working desk jobs, they're working sedentary jobs where they're sitting around all day. I'm literally making videos while sitting down talking about this. I should probably, I've done this while walking. But anyway, the point is like a lot of people just sit all day. That's their job. They sit down and they do their work. And then they come home and they sit down because they're tired of sitting down, so they sit down more. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it is the way that so many people live. On the other hand, I had a lot of friends in construction and a lot of manual labor jobs or retail jobs where they're on their feet all day long. In that case, that's a whole different case. We're not talking about that because a lot of people that work those types of jobs walk 10,000 steps a day at their job. They don't need to go home and walk more. They don't need to go hit the treadmill to get more steps in. There's other ways you can do cardio that can improve your health, but walking more for those people is not one of those things. So you really have to take a look at your own daily habits, your own lifestyle, your own job, your own preferences. A lot of people love going for walks, and that's great. So if you love it, go ahead, do it. Go on hikes, go on walks. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying you have to go down from what you love to do. But what I'm saying is, if you're not getting at least 5,000 steps a day, get to 5,000 steps a day at least on average across the week every single day. And if you're above that, maybe add 1,000 to 2,000 steps a day. 2,000 steps is roughly a mile for most people, depending upon your height and limb lengths and all that stuff, and your step and your pace and all that kind of stuff. So as far as that goes, just a little bit more can go a long way, especially if you start doing that on average each and every day. And that's really my overall cardio approach for most people, and anything else is extra. And then you go back to focusing on the number one thing, which is diet, which I talk about in my other videos. So if you haven't, go check those out. Check them out on the channel here. Check out the link in the description. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you next time.